Okay, so we're beginning what is matter, and matter is um there are two types of matter, and it's anything that has mass and takes up space. It can be matter and volume. Okay, there's a little bit of a difference. So I'm going to go ahead and read this aloud to you. All matter takes up space. The amount of space taken up or occupied by an object is known as the object's volume. Your fingernails, the Statue of Liberty. Look what I have as the Statue of Liberty. I couldn't help it. I have it on my desk right here, so I just had to say, there's the Statue of Liberty. Okay, the continent of Africa and a cloud have volume. Because these things have volume, they cannot share the same space at the same time. Even a tiny speck of dust cannot take up the same space. Okay? All right. Um, So we're going on to matter being anything that has mass and takes up space, volume, a measure of the size of a body or region in three-dimensional space. So remember, three-dimensional is 3D. I mean, hey, we have 3D movies where kind of you freak out when it pops out at you because of the particular glasses you're wearing. But it has to have 3D. Okay. Um, we have what is called liquid volume, and this right here is a graduated cylinder. Okay. So we measure liquid in liters. When it's smaller than a liter, I mean, if you know, you go I mean, if you're in the United States, you're familiar with your 2 liter soda bottles. Well, now they're making 1 liter bottles. Um, if you're out of the United States, you know metric really well. And for those of us in the United States, we need to understand that when you're talking about science, you need to use metric. Okay? So, am I asking you to go get a graduated cylinder? No. Just know that when you are reading something, maybe your measuring cup at home, on one side it should say the metric, and then on the other side is the standard, American standard. Okay? All right. So we do measure, and in measuring, if you notice this little bubble, you see that little bubble right there? They're showing you the arrow is under the bubble. So when you look through your glass, let me see. I mean, you even kind of can see the bubble in this water that I have. You see that bubble right there? Underneath it would be what you would measure. So if I were to pour this, you would see the bubble too. So um, that is called the meniscus. Okay? All right. And you would use that as your mark to read on the graduated cylinder. Okay, so we have also volume in solid objects. Right there is a cube. I mean, I have my Legos right here. My desk is full of toys, but they're good visuals, right? So you can determine your shape by, okay, let's say I didn't have these little stubs down here. Okay, it would be length times width times height. Okay, if some of you have already taken geometry, this is easy peasy. If not, I would write this down. It would be very good, and I tell my students to create your own reference sheet. Okay, get a sheet of paper, and anytime you get a formula, write it down, okay? And that way, when you have to determine something, you get that sheet out. Oh yeah, to get the volume, all I got to do is multiply the length of the width times the height, okay? Because there are oodles of formulas out there, and it would be nice to have them all on one sheet. Yes. Do I have one for you? I have never looked for one, but I think in writing and doing, it'll help you remember. Okay. Okay. So, they're showing you these graduated cylinders here because what they're using is displacement. Okay. We have an odd shape here, an odd shaped dice. It like has 5 sides like a pentagon type thing. And how are you going to measure that? So what you do is you put, in this case, I believe they put, I can't really tell. I would say this is 5 and that's 10. Okay, 10 milliliters. Oh, wait a minute. Uh, 12-sided object displaced 15 milliliters. Okay, so they put 15 milliliters of water in each one. It has to be identical. And then they threw the dice in the second one to compare it to the first one. And as the water rose, because when you throw something in, it's going to rise. The water will rise. And so all you do is you will subtract. Okay. Whatever 15, this was 15 here, and then whatever it is afterwards, you're going to subtract, and it's actually going to be 1 milliliter difference. It only moved up 1 milliliter. Okay. But remember, this is a 3D figure. So this is where that little number 3 comes in. Centimeters cubed. Okay. You must write the type of measuring unit. It's centimeters cubed. Even though, where is it? Even though we didn't use a ruler with millimeters or centimeters, we already know in the scientific world what 1 milliliter equals to as a solid. And so it's going to equal to 1 centimeter cubed because it's 3-dimensional. I hope that helps you. And you're going to have some homework where, or it'll be homework or a lab where you will do the math focus and let's see, math focus and math skills. Okay. All right. Let's see. Let me go back. I'm sorry to make you dizzy there. Another way is mass. Mass is a measure of the amount of matter in the object. In an object, and weight is the measure of the gravitational force exerted on the object. Okay, so there is a difference. Okay, weight is a force, okay, that keeps the object on the earth from floating into space. That's weight. Okay, but mass, they give you an example of you and a peanut are made of matter, but you are made of more matter than a peanut is. So you have more mass. It's kind of like comparing this battery, okay? This battery, we're looking at size versus this bottle of water, okay? The mass, the size, is going to be, the battery is smaller mass than the bottle of water, right? Okay, all right. But weight On the other hand is the force exerted to keep the bottle from floating away, right? So that's the difference. An object right here would weigh less on the moon than it does on Earth because the moon has less gravitational force than the Earth does. All right, so I hope that kind of clarifies that for you. I know it's sometimes difficult to visualize, but we're talking mass is the largeness and weight is the pull, the force. All right. And we measure using weights. That's why we get on a scale when people go to the gym. They want to see if they've lost some weight. That is my dilemma. But yes, we use scales to determine weight. I actually have, I think I have one here, but a spring scale, okay? These are kind of handy dandy scales, and you can measure the mass of something. Maybe my scissors here. You have a hook, and then you have on one side you have ounces, and then on the other side you have grams, and you just hang it. And if we look at it, I have my scissors weigh 60 grams. 60 grams, because look, it's from 0 to 100. Yes. All right. So these are nice to have. I mean, they're pretty inexpensive. You might even find, well, I don't know if they would be at a hardware store, but it's just something to have handy. Do you need to buy one? No, you don't need to buy one. All right. I hope I've helped you to understand the properties of matter.